Hi again, we're back once again, this time in Wales, a very wet, cold Wales, but we started off in Hendred Falls, so we're going to go check that out quick just to show you. We haven't got much battery, haven't charged it enough, had an early start, we both feel like death. Oh, I've just got over the flu, so yeah, we're a picture of health at the minute, but it's Valentine's, it's time to just have a nice weekend in Wales. So when you get to Hendred Falls car park, that's at the top there. And you go down the hill, down the hill, down the hill, and then it comes round to here, and then this leads straight to the waterfall. But if you park at the top and it's summer, you won't be able to see the waterfall, but because there's no leaves on the trees at the minute, when you're stood at the top you can just about work out the waterfall. But in the summer you will need to get your walking shoes on and get down here. That is Hendred Falls. That is located at the south of the Brecon Beacons. Now we're going to be heading downstream a bit before we get back in the car and head to our next destination and just see what we find, have a little bit of a relax.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view.
Okay, so that was Hendred Falls and a little bit of down the river, and now we got back in the car and we've just got to Devil's Bridge. We've reached Devil's Bridge. So when you get round the road, you'll find the little free car park tucked on top of the little slope. We're going to head down now and just show you the entrances. So on the main road you got the main iron bridge here, which leads to one part down there which we're going to after, which is the little punch bowl. But this time, well, first we're going down this side. So once you pay, you get the little green light and we'll go through a little turnstile straight into a set of stairs. This is Devil's Bridge. Oh maiden so fair, how do I cross the bridge?
That away.
Okay. Be becoming a bit of a trend now, because everywhere we go we find little money trees or money stumps. Pretty much in all my videos now we always stumble across one. But now we're going to go down slightly more steep part. I think round the corner is Jacob's Ladder, which is a set of stairs which is over a 45-degree angle slope down. with its heart-shaped face, creamy apricot bib, and its long bushy tail. The pine marten has looks and characteristics on its side, as it's about the size of a domestic cat and is an adept climber. And they sleep in the trees, so not only do you have to watch your footing, you have to keep your eyes up. Now I've dipped a little bit lower than the fog, and you've got a bit more of a clear view. And I've just got a nosebleed. Fun. But just saying about the devil, how things dead in the valley. Maybe I'm next. But we've reached Jacob's Ladder anyway, so I'll show you. I mean, this doesn't do it justice how steep this really is, but it's steep. See, already we've gone way above height, head level height. They got these handy little bars just in case you fall and you've got something to get caught on as you tumble to your death. Now we go up the stairs. Now we're sort of in a little cove underneath the waterfall. It's just around the corner there, which you can't quite see. But this little cave has a bit of importance, because the little kids that were smugglers used to hide down here. They used to go into the town, steal, and then come back to this cave to hide. And it was because the dogs found them. That's how they got caught. And then hung, drawn and quartered. Now going up some more stairs, following the waterfall. Just about work out some people coming down Jacob's Ladder. You can see how steep it is. Oh dear, seems to be a slight hole in the pipe. Then when you reach the end, you get back to the swirly gate. If you've watched the programme Hinterland, the first episode on one of the series, don't ask me which, yeah, it's actually based around this area. The whole episode was sort of filmed here, well, most of it. And if you've seen it, you would recognise this hotel. And we've made it back round to Devil's Bridge again. Now the story behind this bridge I didn't actually explain. Back in the day, this bridge wasn't here, and there was believed to have been a woman this side and her cow that side. And the story is that the woman was there wondering how to get her cow back, and the devil appeared in a puff of smoke. You know, I'll build you a bridge across so you can get to your cow on one condition: I get the soul of whatever crosses first, thinking it would be the woman. So the woman goes home, has a night, comes back, all of a sudden, bam, this bridge is here. So she then goes with her dog to this side of the bridge. The devil's waiting as if to say, right, don't forget, I get whatever passes over here first. She brought a loaf of bread with her, and she threw the loaf of bread across here, and then the dog followed. So the devil got tricked. So he had to take the soul of the dog and not the woman. So it's believed to be a bit of a cursed bridge. Yeah, the devil got cheated, so he killed off the whole valley, hence why all the dead trees. That's the story anyway. But it's believed that the bridge was actually built by the monks of the Pistyll Rhaeadr. We'll leave that up to you to decide. I prefer the devil story a bit better, but bit of a better view of Devil's Bridge. The force of the water going around there. So we've made it to Gladlass Holiday Park, where you can get like little shacks or hot tubs and fancy little bits. Yeah, it's quite nice here, but I'll take you on a little tour. There's Lucy in a egg chair.
Can we fit it in the car?
We've got a hot tub, little dining area.
The Balmoral Studio.
Yeah, I'll take you around the front of the decking. So we got our own little fishing spot if you're into your fishing. A couple of little wooden chairs, very nice. I'll take you in. Now we're inside the little love shack. We've got a TV with PlayStation. We got a little cooking area. Lovely. Even the bed's made out of wood. Valentine's Day. And a bathroom. But we've come out in the morning and we're surrounded by little ducks. No.
Oh no, they're all coming.
So day 2, we're going to start off by taking you across the viaduct at that place. We're currently inside Trevor. Hey.
Or Treeful. Trevor.
And yeah, this aqueduct you can go across and you can take little boats, stand-up paddle boards. If you're scared of heights, it's probably not the best one for you, but we're going to show you, so come check it out with us. We're here, we're going to be going along the aqueduct, sorry, and then we're going to try and get to Horseshoe Falls. Have a look at that. So you can get across the canal via a boat, which you can hire from this little Anglo Welsh. Get a nice canal boat and go along the viaduct. I keep calling it the viaduct, it's the aqueduct. But we're going to head across on foot, aren't we, Lise?
We are.
And if we enjoy it, I'm going to come back here with the stand-up paddleboard in the summer, because as lovely as it's going to be today, probably not going to be warm enough. All the different bricks and engineering materials that went into building the bridge. And this is it. So we've made it to the aqueduct bridge. Unfortunately, it's closed off for the winter. They don't open till the 24th of February because, yeah, the winter's when they do their repairs. So that is it there. Keep an eye on the videos. Summer, we'll come back with a stand-up paddleboard. We're both a bit gutted because we just drove out this way, but can't show you on top, but we can show you underneath. So we're going to go do that instead. Basically underneath a canal. We're going to carry on down the steps. So now, and there's some serious height on that. So now we're going to follow the main river down. Break over the top of the hill, you've got so windy, you get greeted by this view. It's amazing, you can just about see the Horseshoe Falls down there, and that is a steep hill, so we've got to sort of do a loop round. Under the ancient oak tree. There it is, in all its glory. The falls are right next to this building. This is a little pump house which filters the water from the main river and pumps it into said canal, which is the same canal which leads over the water duct. The bridge I just walked under. The chain bridge. Oh, it's a bit wobbly. Oh, it's very wobbly. And the end of the chain place, the chain bridge, nice little cafe, if you fancy it. So we've come up from the town, which is all the way at the bottom of this valley, all up this bit of a sketchy little road. A lot of loose rocks. You can imagine there's water usually going down here because of the pipes going through. There's a castle on top of the hill that I spotted from the town, and I thought, well, let's go check it out. So here we go. Oh. So we made it after a very steep climb. Very steep. But the view is well worth it. Just in the distance, you could just about work out the aqueduct where we were earlier. There's a long way down. There's little white dots down there. They're sheep. Bit of a well or something there, but they're obviously doing a bit of work up here. Actually, check the well out anyway. Top. We're going to head down now, see what the rest of the day takes. Duck is sleeping. down. Well, I am. Oh, it's locked.
Oh, look what I can see coming the other way.
Alright, next place.
Look at that big golden boy coming the other way.
See you
I
at
want
the
to pet him.
See you at the next place.
Okay, bye.
So we've arrived at the Slate Caverns and we're doing the Rhaeadr Deep Mine. Something to come back for, the mountain biking. They have got an uplift. Blue, red, well, a green, a blue, red and a black line. Built-in waterfall. Beautiful. Called the secret waterfall. Wow, we found it, so it's not that secret.
We made the picturesque waterfall with a drop of 100 feet.
We made it. Just getting fueled up before we go down into the cave mine.
In the mine, the deep mine.
500 feet. And we're going to begin our deep mine tour adventure. Got our brain buckets on. If you've watched the other videos, you would have seen us. We've already done the cavern in the box below.
Oh, by the way, that level where we came in, that was floor 2. Okay, floor 2.
Oh, 2?
Yes. This is floor 1. I told you that John Greaves and his partners, they found the old vein in 1849. This is floor 1. This is where they found the old vein in 1849. And there's quite a few tunnels and levels going that way. We're not going that way, of course, right? And as you can imagine, the slate tips weren't as big in 1849, okay? This would have been a level ground. Right, the tips weren't as high as it is now. And people ask me, is there any gold in the slate mines? What's your answer to that? There is gold in the slate mines, but not real gold. It's fool's gold, which is a parites. It's basically, it's iron and sulfur, right? Right, this is one of the 250 chambers we have in the ground. Okay, this is quite a large one, and this chamber goes down further. Right, we are going to be working on the rock face. And the chain goes down, right, between the legs like that. Then it goes round, over the chain like that, and down another 10 to 15 foot of chain with locker in place. Also, is it some slate blocks? Right to the far end, right? We're going to coil our first wire or paddle, see it on the wire or paddle? We're going to pretend this goes down to the bottom, okay? And that chain is in fact something. Wire up there, only pretend. Right, okay. Can you see my drill anywhere? I left my drill somewhere. Can you see a drill? Anyone? Sorry? No? Anyone? Right, this is going to be a drill. Call it a jumper because it jumps up and down. Would you like to volunteer to drill for me, please?
Women aren't allowed to work in the mine.
That's right. Would you like to work? Would you like to drill for me, please? Thank you very much. That's it, brilliant. Have you done it before? You've done it well, isn't she? That's it. You've done it before, you're doing well. That's it, brilliant. Okay. Right, okay, so we are going to have a volunteer there as well. Right, would you like to compress the cup over for me, please? That's it. Please don't hit your hand. Thank you very much. That's it. You've done it before, haven't you? Yeah. You're doing well there. Thank you very much. Thank you. And you didn't hit your hand there. Good on you. Thank you very much. And a good clap for that, yeah.
Counted every single one.
How many?
Ah, good on you.
And one
No,
left to make me
no,
work in
equality
top
now.
up.
You'll be pushing that slate up.
No.
I'll be behind with a whip. Come on, you old wench, push it up.
He's gonna fix the broken people, Ren.
But you just said he'd do it. I'll be at the pub.
I'll be better at fixing people. That's what I do.
And the dentist.
Yeah, I can do that. I'll be the dentist instead.
I'm just going to make a phone call. The bat's full. Oh, how are you?
You okay, mate?
Hi, thanks, yeah. How are we with the train?
No, I'm just going to send it down to you now.
Yeah, okay. See you later.
See you in a minute.
Bye now.
So,
Yeah.
hey.
Our little train.
We're in the front of the train.
We're in the front of the train, not the back of the train. It's the front when we're going out. Oh, our little train. Thank you. Oh, we made it out the mine alive. Thank you, John, for your tour. That was brilliant. Actually learnt quite a lot, and we made it out. Whoa! So that's it. We've just got the golf to do here now, and we've completed this whole site. Did you enjoy that?
I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. And
Accent.
we're going to head off now. Not quite sure where we're going. Probably back because it is peeing with rain. Wettest town in the whole of Wales. Fact. Good morning. It's the next day. Yeah, last night after we had this really nice meal at the corn mill, and then we just come back here, had a night in the hot tub. So we had a bit of a chilled one, but today we're going to be doing even more caving. But first I thought I would go out onto the decking because someone's waiting for their breakfast. So Lucy's just locking up. Now we're heading to somewhere that Lucy's booked. What's it called?
Go below.
Go Below, which is another caving experience. We got a little boat to go on underground. A few little traverses, a couple of little zip lines. But yeah, it should be pretty exciting. So come on, we'll meet you there. We just walked down the road a little bit because can't get in until 1:45, so we've got about 15 minutes just to have a little wander. We stumbled across this bridge. There it is, there's the headquarters. So we've just discovered that's the bridge we were stood on just a minute ago. carry on round the river, there's actually some viewpoints and some waterfalls. So maybe after we're going to try and have a little walk round to show you. But we're just waiting to get kitted up. Got a chest mount, well, got my chest mount on. Hopefully it won't be too dark. That's the only thing I'm worried about, even though it's not going to see anything. Just hear me and Lucy screaming. Got our little helmets on with our lights. Look at you, little miner. With our safety briefing. Now we're in the car on the way to the mine. Cave.
Mine.
Mine. So we've made it to bottom. Got to go up about a third to get into the cave. Go through all the courses. It brings you out at the top, and then we got to walk all the way back down. Gorgeous scenery everywhere. The drive was lovely. I mean, look at that. You can't top it. Look at this.
We're going this way.
Here we go. It's a good start. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Ed. So we are in the cave. Excited? Got the old tracks there that we've all had to just squeeze through first little entrance.
To give you an idea, so when the guys were working outside on the quarry, they were called quarrymen. Makes sense, doesn't it? They worked in a quarry. However, when they came underground and they went to work, we're going to go through the chambers. When they worked in the chambers, they were physically still called the quarrymen because they were working on the chamber faces just like they worked on the quarry faces. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Right. There were two types of chaps that lived and worked underground, miners and quarrymen. Most of the passageways we walked through were dug out by miners. Now the miners of the day were paid a wage. In today's money, you're probably looking at between 30 and 50p a week. Okay, but in the 1700s and 1800s, that was quite a lot of money. But it was quite a dangerous job, and I'll explain why in a minute. However, the quarrymen were self-employed. They only got paid for the useful slate they took out of the ground. Now, just to give you an idea about how wasteful slate is, for every 10 tons you quarry, you only get 1 ton of useful slate. So they had to work 10 tons to be paid for 1. That was quite a hard job. Okay? And they were self-employed. Now the miners, their jobs were quite dangerous because the passageways we're going to walk on, they were all dug out by hand, hammer and chisel. Okay? But it wasn't a small hammer and chisel, it was quite a big hammer and chisel. And the reason they were paid was it was quite a dangerous job. So you had two of you, normally working in pairs, and they would swap. So one would have a chisel on his shoulder, the other guy would have a sledgehammer. And you can imagine what he's doing with a sledgehammer, can't you? He's hitting the back of the chisel. The chisel's going into the slate, and then basically once it gets so far, they'll both hang off it and break it. Okay, and then the slate would drop to the floor, and they would hope that nothing above would fall and squash them. Hence why they were paid. Okay. This passageway, as I said, goes in nearly 1 kilometre. It took them 2.5 years to dig this one passageway. But they had to dig it because it was a bit of a catch-22 situation. The quarrymen needed to work level 1, but they couldn't work it because it was filling up with water. So the miners had to dig this adit-way, drainage adit-way. If you look at the water, it's flowing. Drainage adit-way to get the water out. So it was a bit of a catch-22 situation. As we go down, There is another alleyway directly below us, but it doesn't start until about 100 metres. The reason for that is they were actually building an alleyway, but they finished with level 1, so they stopped doing the alleyway. Otherwise we'd have gone in at level 1. Makes sense? Yeah? That makes sense?
Yeah.
Remember, please walk in the middle of the railway lines because that's where the roofs are highest. It is original. We have not fabricated this in any way, shape or form. It's now 173 years old. Okay, we've been told we've had carpenters on the trip and they've said basically if you cut the wood in half, the core inch would still be usable wood. The reason for that is it's redwood, so it's not English, it's not native to England, but because of the resin content, they worked out very early on that if they used the redwood, they brought redwood back as ballast on the ships, and they used it underground because of the moisture and the dampness, it actually lasts a long, long time because of that resin content, so it's very, very waterproof, okay? The next thing about it is the wheels. If you look, they're very unusual. They're not like the railways of today. The spindle they sit on is extra long, and the wheels actually have 2 flanges, 2 lips on them. Well, the reason for that is that their measuring stick of the day, would you believe, was your foot. And if you have 2 guys with different sized feet, the railway lines were never laid the same distance apart, so they didn't marry up that properly. So basically, it aided the wheels to run along the tracks. And also, the railway lines were never left on each floor. They were ripped up and relaid on every floor because the mine owner wouldn't spend the money to put railway lines on each floor once the floor was finished because they were never going back into that floor. So they were never laid that well. Okay. The last thing then is how it was transported around the mine. And from the passageways to the main alleyway, which is here, it was actually transported by children. And those children would have been 10 years old. And one of the very first laws ever passed about mining was that nobody could start work on the ground below the age of 10. So on your 10th birthday, you would start work underground. Now, there'd be about 6 to 8 per railway car because we know that one kid couldn't physically push this, but the size of slate on here would be anywhere from an English fridge freezer to an American double fridge freezer. So you're talking 3/4 of a tonne to a tonne and a half. Now, it aided them because the passageways that we're going to walk on the sides were also on an angle. They were also designed on an angle so that when they pushed the cart, they had gravity. They would come out here to the main passageway. This is where it was hooked up to a steam engine which was on the surface, and that was the only mechanical advantage this mine had until the 1930s. Everything else we see has been done by hand and a small amount of explosives. So as we go through the chambers, some of them are small, some of them are big. It'll shock you how long people spent time in those chambers. And if you look round now, you can see the small entrance we came in. We're going to go and find you a challenge, so if you'd like to follow me.
It's not often you go in a boat in a cave. And then, sorry, I'm going next to her, am I?
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're no like easy, you can sit down.
Now we're too far back.
Counterbalance. Yeah, I was going to say, it's like...
We never claimed to be part of the rowing team,
We made it across. Thank you.
Let's leave your travels in the boat. Yes, go.
Okay.
Okay, come round. So keep moving round, guys. Keep flipping up. Okay, both hands there. Keep your hands off the wire. Run off the edge. Lift your feet when you get to the other side.
Nice. Yeah. You like that?
Did you
Fun.
see me go?
Yeah, I told you, zoom in.
You proud of me?
So hidden here is the chute.
The shoe is an old miner's shoe. This is original to the mine and would have been worn by a miner. It's quite special because on the bottom it's got hobnails, like little metal teeth for scratching on the rock, which made it a lot easier for miners to work their way on the slippery slate. We've got quite, soft wellies which are quite good at gripping. Those are even better. But there's a reason why there's just one shoe here. Anyone know anything about Welsh folklore or traditions? The reason there's a shoe here is the Welsh believe, or certainly believed, that the pair had like a special connection, a relationship to each other. So if they had really good luck in a chamber, the chamber was safe, it produced lots of good slate, earned them a fair amount of money. They'd be like, oh, this is a good place. So what they do is when they left this chamber the final time, they'd leave a shoe behind, one shoe, and they'd take the other half of the pair, and they'd take that with them in the future, with the idea that because it's a pair, the luck attaches to the pair, and they've still got half the pair, so the luck will come with them. And anybody noticed one of the other things in this chamber?
The echo.
Exactly. So the echo was a sign which the miners used to see how safe the mine was. So the choirs, the Welsh male voice choirs, they started in these mines because the miners would sing on their way in, and then they'd listen for the echo. And if they heard a change in that echo and how their voices sounded, they knew that the mine had changed overnight, something structural. A block's about to hang out the ceiling, it's fallen out the ceiling, there's something off. And the final thing.
The date.
Exactly, there we go. So, RDJ, Charlie would normally have you believe is Robert Downey Jr.'s great ancestor. But I bet it's a Rhys Stafford Jones, and he would have left here in 1913. So, this would have been put there when the chamber was finished, as a way of signing, saying, I am the last person to work in this chamber and is on this.
So we just stopped for a bit of lunch, and then we're heading up there.
Clear. Now the middle section, booty clips before you start climbing past the middle section. Put your hand there, put your hand on the side. There is a step here that I'm kicking against. Up, and through.
What are we doing now, Liz?
Rope climbing up a steep thing. Yeah.
We put a lot of things together and then it's her go waxing like this and then three more waxing like this. Oh, that would be
Go. Cut first. Oh, it is a bit slipster. It is a bit slippy, isn't it?
Yeah. I wouldn't get feel artistic.
It doesn't look too bad.
Nice and tight.
You got this, Liz.
You got it? You got it. Keep stepping. Where to? So bend your knees, pretend you're sitting on a chair, and then we'll just want you to swing backwards and out. Just yeah, there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Ta-da!
Right, so feet nice and wide apart for me. And all you're going to do now is walk backwards down the wall, okay? All right?
That's Spider Woman.
Thank you.
Go on, off you go. Move your feet backwards like Michael Jackson. Right, step over that rock on your left. Step over. Big step.
That's it, you're almost there.
Big step. That's it, well done, Lucy.
Whee.
Right, look down for that floor now. Stand up.
Okay.
Walk down there to where my boot is.
Yep.
Once you're there, just wait for me to give you some instructions, okay?
Okay.
Okay, both hands on here now. You're really going to have to bend your knees.
Yep.
Sit down and just swing out.
Okay.
That's it, there you go. Feet on the rock for me.
Yep.
Feet nice and wide apart.
Okay.
Down the wall.
Yep. All good. We up. Perfect. Unclip. Thank you. Lucy just done her first abseil.
You did it.
So proud.
Thank you.
It gets quite low here, so we're gonna crawl for a little.
This was built as a test experiment, a test of the engineering. Now, while this mine is operating, a company has come forward and they developed a new type of diamond core hole drill bit to collect these massive cores from the earth, to sample the rock and see what the rock was like without having to go through the massive expense of opening a mine.
So, now we're going to start walking up the big incline. Remember the one on the other side of the hill I showed you? All the difference is there's a roof on this one. The safest place to walk though, ladies and gents, is actually in the water because it washes everything away. So it's more grippy in the water than it is on the sides. Think about Bambi on ice on the sides. Yes, you want to be walking in the wet stuff. Okay?
This is awesome. Walking up a waterfall.
Yeah.
I'll see you in a bit.
Cool, I'll treat them after.
Yeah, no
Right
worries.
guys, follow me.
Stand up now.
In a minute, we're going to turn all our lights off and experience true pitch black. You know, you may think, oh, we went out one evening, that was pitch black. Now, this will be true pitch black. So there'll be no light hitting our eyes at all whatsoever. So I'm just going to get the candles ready because once we've spent some time in the darkness, I'll light a candle and we'll see how the miners saw the weather. So everyone ready? Turn your lights off.
So we just saw like a true darkness and it was pitch black, and they was just telling us about how a man went caving, didn't tell his wife, got lost, and smashed his big toe up because he thought he was hallucinating because of sensory deprivation, which is interesting and gory at the same time. But now we're going to go climb up a waterfall, so that should be a bit different.
Backward. First thing you do, keep going. Okay, grab it over. If you stay in the middle, go left. Go left into the middle. Go straight up. Straight up. Grab the light rope. Now, are you ready? Okay, we can grab the yellow rope.
Oh, sorry.
Grab the yellow rope.
Yep. Thank
Right,
you.
follow that all the way to the end. Okay, come ready?
That was very soggy. But we made it. Soggy, soggy. Bit wet. Isn't it a tight old gap? No, I gotta crawl it. Oh, watch your head here.
During any
Heavy.
downtime, there's no mundane chores to do. There's no bits of rock like this to pick up off the floor and throw in a cart to be taken out.
Right, Liz?
Yeah, I'm just going to do that
Go for it.
So move your clips as soon as you can. So see your clips?
Yeah.
Yeah, move them now.
It might be easy to set down one.
Cool.
So don't get to your rubber knot.
Okay, Liz?
Yeah. I'm doing okay.
You're nearly there as well.
Pardon?
You're nearly there.
Halfway maybe?
No, you're over halfway. Definitely over halfway. Here you go. Where are your gloves gone?
Pardon?
Where are your gloves gone?
Oh, I took them off. I didn't like them wet.
Oh, okay.
Am I doing okay?
You're doing amazing, honey. Yeah. Oh, is it raining?
Well, it's that lizard stuff.
Yeah. Nice one. Yay. Nice one. All out now. Just leaving the quarry. All the miners, look, done a good job. What are we doing now, Lise?
Pardon?
Making our way to the van.
We're going back to the van.
It's very misty up at this height, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're going to go break down through the trees. All stuck.
The gate is open, guys.
Yeah, the gate's open.
Conwy Falls. So that was the Go Below entry level course we done. Thank you so much to Charlie, thank you so much to Adrian, they were really helpful.
What's his name?
Aidan, sorry, not Adrian. You've done really well.
I'm like scarred for life.
Helmet head.
Helmet head for life.
So I'm going to go down to Conwy Falls.
Come on, go on.
Oh, me first. Thank you. Oh, I owe you. Oh, a bit solid. Hey, we're through.
We're through. Let's go.
You reached the viewpoint number 1. Wow. Shame that tree's in the way.
No.
Carry on a bit further down. See where it takes us. Speed walk. The force of all that water, that is amazing. That is absolutely beautiful. Little bit of a cave hole there. Nice bit of quartz. That was a little bit of Conwy Falls. Now we're heading back to the car. We're going to go get a roast as it's Sunday. Nice bit of Welsh lamb. You enjoy it here, Luce?
Yes, thank you. Did you?
I did.
Good.
I'll see you in a few seconds on the next day. So it's the last day here. I think today we're just going to go check out a few little waterfalls dotted around quite close to us. One of them being Pistyll Rhaeadr, which I still don't know if that's how you say it, but right, let's get into the air. To the waterfalls and say goodbye to our little lodge, found on Airbnb, by the way. Location is here. So we made it after a long old drive up a wiggly road. You get to the end, you got a farm, and then you got 2 gates. One goes to the top and one goes to the base, but we're going to go to the base of the waterfall first and then have a little walkies round. Walk through this gorgeous woodland, giant boulders covered in moss and the big pine trees. Just about work out the hole there, 'cause it goes down into a pool, and then out the pool and down here. So now we've had a look from the base, we're going to head up to the top and have a look down it rather than up it. But we've got to take a little walk through this gorgeous woodland. It loops round up to the top. Let's get cracking. The sheep being moved on to the next field. When it gets wet up here, it's very slippy. So you watch the smooth rocks, because you will end up on your butt or your face. And even if it's not the wet rocks, it's just how badly positioned. Here's one hell of a climb though. It's knackering. Gorgeous. Water coming in off the hills into here, around this corner, and that is the top of the fall just there. There's the pool down there, it collects and it goes through that hole down to that lower level. So that view of the valley. Pine trees, the beech trees, gorgeous. Like it? So I've just took you back to the main waterfall. So that was Pistyll Rhaeadr, I'm sure that's not how you say it, but to an Englishman, that's how it looks. So, as we left Pistyll Rhaeadr, or however you say it, we was making our way back towards England, and I saw a little plinth on top of a big hill. Situated between Oswestry and Welshpool, the Bradon Hills are an isolated group of 3 peaks above the right bank of the River Severn, about 6 miles north of Welshpool, which dominates the area and stands around 1,200 feet high. Rodney's Pillar, an obelisk commemorating Admiral Rodney's victory over the French in 1782. Middletown Hill is the second peak, about 1,195 feet, and stands on the north side of Middleton village. And the third peak is the tallest, which stands at 1,324 feet. To actually go see the pillar at the top and get a great view, parts of Wales, Shropshire. Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. But this hill, as you can see from this time lapse, is brutal. Oh, so we've made it up the very, very tall climb to Rodney's Pillar, and the view does not disappoint. Check this out. The Kerry Hills and the Severn Valley. Yeah, one hell of a view. And 2 other hills I mentioned earlier. Let's see if you can guess which is England and which is Wales. If you guessed the first one was Wales, you'd be right. That's got all the mountains. England, flat. But for now, we're going to head back down the hill. And after that weekend of us spending some time in Wales, we're both very tired. It's been one hell of a wet, cold weekend, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. Have you?
Yeah.
Like, subscribe for more travel ideas to get you outside. That's why I make these videos, to encourage people to see a bit more of the world and a bit more of the surroundings of couldn't actually be far from where you live. But for now, I think that's it for us. That's the last of the pillar. The last of me. Last of Lucy. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.